Welcome to episode 30 of The Weekender. I'm Brandon Roberts along with Jesse Lucero. Just a recap of some of the things that happened this last week. Sales meeting. What did you think of the sales meeting this week?
Very safe.
Very safe.
Yeah, very safe. It was good.
So we had the sales meeting. There was a couple big things that happened in that meeting. One, we had a safety trainer come in, and he talked about how to protect yourself and be aware of your environment when you're in open houses and different things like that. And also earlier today, he was in the Southwest office and did a class for the agents on agent safety. So hopefully you were able to make those tips, along with the great story he had where he fought for his life. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Are all on the recorded episode of the sales meeting.
He's a scary dude.
Yeah. He could be, right?
He could be, yeah.
Well, you can get that sales meeting in the units tab under the agent's signature or
the newsletter.
In your newsletter.
The signature buzz.
The signature buzz. And as Janet would say, read your damn newsletter.
That's right.
So that was good. Then we also had meet the team of Prosperity Lending.
Oh, that was awesome.
It was great.
I'm really excited over all the products that they're offering.
Yeah, the products were awesome because they, number one, better rates. They're able to offer better rates than they were when they were with the other brand, right? We met the team, so you got to see how big that team actually is and who's actually behind the scenes to really help.
I thought it was just two.
Two people?
Yeah.
Shelly and George?
Yeah, it's like 15.
Yeah, there's a big group from marketing to the support we're getting from All Western Mortgage and Chris Biaggi over there. And so I'm excited for the direction that's going. They also talked about, I think there were 6 or 8 technology pieces that they're offering to the agents or to you guys, and one being their mortgage app. And so your clients can go on and make application. One of the things I really liked about one of the pieces of technology that they had there too was that they were giving you the ability to print off a pre-approval letter.
Wow.
And so what that means, though, is you just can't just create a pre-approval letter. But let's say you took a client in, they got approved one of the Prosperity Lending loan officers, and they're approved for $375, right? And you're out showing property on the weekend, and they find a house for maybe $360, right? And so you're gonna write an offer for $360,000. You don't really want to submit the lender approval letter showing that they can pay more.
Right.
You want it to come in at the $360 or your offer price.
That's
right?
a great tool.
So they're saying that anything at or below the amount they're approved for, you could create that letter for. So that's really cool. You don't have to track down a lender to do it.
You don't have to wait,
Right.
Cuts the time in half.
Another piece of technology they talked about, and I thought this was huge, was it was an app that you can get appraised values or connect with an appraiser to get information. So when you're doing your comps and stuff, you're more on point.
So me being in the lending industry in my past life, I thought it was great value to the fact that they have hard money lending available. Because I know there's only one lender here in town. Well, then now there's another one that's gonna.
Yeah, so that was also something they talked about, which is great. So not only do they have hard money or special financing options, and so there aren't too many people that couldn't get approved.
Right.
And hard money isn't necessarily for long-term financing, but it can bridge the gap to get people into something.
It creates a new business of investors that could possibly work with you. So if you use it as a selling tool, it could be great. And then I also overheard George saying we can do any type of commercial.
Yeah, so I think they're open to looking at a lot of different projects or different things like that. So really what it comes down to is I don't think you have to tell people no right off the bat. I think you can bring them in, and there's lots of options to work with Prosperity Lending.
A lot of value.
A lot of value.
Yeah. Plus, they're in-house. They're right here.
They're right here. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. The other thing, list reports. I mean, I walked in the office today, and I saw this flyer put together on the property through list reports. So if you need property profiles, lender scenarios, schools in the area, stuff like that for your open houses, this is pretty cool too.
So we're adding a testimonial on that list reports. One of our agents is using it, and she's like really excited about it.
Yeah.
So you'll see a clip at the end of this.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. So I'm going to dive in and check out a lot of this technology because it's free to use.
Why not use it?
Why not, right? Then want to let you know next week's sales meeting coming up. We've got a legal and legislative update with the one and only Tiffany Banks, which is the Nevada Realtors attorney.
Yes.
So that should be good. As you all know, that last year's legislative session, they passed that you've got to have your license number on all advertising.
Yeah, and I keep seeing errors in the
Right.
Facebook pages and other pieces of marketing.
So Janet came out with a broker insight, and she also spoke at the sales meeting on how to put that number on your marketing.
Right.
But this will be a great point for you to come in and ask any questions about any of those changes, the added CE classes, everything else that affect you guys. You can hear it straight from the source, Tiffany. So
Right.
I'm excited about that. Another great sales meeting coming up March 10th, a few weeks out, is Setema. He'll be back. So,
Yeah.
as you know, he's been here once before. We had him out at Dragon Ridge, and then we've had him at one of our sales meetings, and he's coming back, and he's going to speak to you guys again. So I'm excited about that. If you've missed him in the past, make sure you're here. Let's have a great turnout. And if you've seen him before, he always brings great content and great
Right.
things. So, and he's been a huge influence in my life, and I know a lot of other people have been through
Yeah,
his
I've
immersion.
seen a lot of personal growth here at Signature
Yeah.
from that very first meeting he was here.
It's been
Yeah.
huge. So, and a lot of personal shrinkage,
Right.
because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there's been hundreds of pounds lost this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy and excited to see the amount of weight loss that's happened and people wanting to get in shape. So just you and me alone, it probably lost over 130 pounds.
I lost, what, 55 pounds?
So okay,
Yeah.
so and I lost 60 so
Yeah.
far. So that's
And then
quite a
Beta
bit.
joined us, and a lot of other agents joined
Mhm.
us as well. And
yeah.
we
So
feel the best.
I think it's been awesome, and just changing the way we eat and just
Yeah.
focusing on health. So.
Well, what really helped me is I just stopped buying groceries for 6 months.
That's funny because
So-
people say, "Hey, how'd you lose your weight?"
Yeah, just don't buy
starvation.
groceries.
Not recommended.
Yeah, right.
Also coming up next week in the Summerlin office, 2 p.m. Todd Barton will be out there, and he's going to talk about team building.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about this because I can't tell you how many agents have come up and wanted to start a team,
Right.
and I don't think a lot of people understand what
Oh,
the
it's
dynamics
a
of a team
business.
is. Absolutely.
It's a business, and it should be treated as one.
Right, and
Yeah.
so he's going to do, I think it's a 4-week series on should you build a team, if you were to build a team, what would it look like, and what to do if you're a team leader. So that will be worth its weight in gold. I think if you're thinking about building a team, you should be there, and if you're running a team, you should be there. Because when I look at some of the teams you guys do, you can get pretty big and stuff, but I don't know if a lot of teams run on a profit, and I don't think there's any reason to build a team if you're not going to be profitable on that. I think you do yourself a disservice because
Yep.
it typically can detract from your production. So I'd want to learn how to do it right. So Todd's been an expert in that kind of stuff, coached many teams, run many teams across the country. Come learn from the best. Also, March 6th at 9 a.m., Chris Bishop will be doing a repeat of his Master Series training on the RPA. So that was the first one he did out in the Southwest office, which great reviews. But come learn the purchase agreement and come learn
Right.
the ins and outs of it. Even if you think you know it like the back of your hand, come see the other perspective. There's also other changes happening to the purchase agreement, some other clauses
Right.
going in real soon. So you're going to want to be there to get that kind of stuff too. So we had a big announcement on the Spirit of Signature Award at the sales meeting.
Cherry KK.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
She is the winner for February of 2020. So we're excited. Look for her picture and
Right.
her information on the plaques in the offices.
So for those that are watching us that don't know how that works, what does it take to be part of that award?
So in each office at the receptionist desk, there are nomination forms. So all you do is you nominate somebody in the office that's done something good for you,
Right.
or you see given back, or that you think deserves to be recognized.
Right.
Right. And then once those are tallied up and brought to the associate council,
Okay.
and the associate council goes through those and they vote on who the next winner will be.
I've been nominating Beta, and I don't have any response.
Yeah. Well, what'd you say? He was best dressed or something?
Most good looking.
Most good looking. And I'm not. I know you say that because he's your son, but he's not really his son. But it's a family.
His mom says it.
His mom says
Yeah.
it. Jesse still denies it.
Yeah.
Just kidding. So Also, we are stepping it up on compliance. Just want you guys just to be aware, if there's a blank on a form, it needs to be filled out. Either something needs to be in there or NA needs to be put in there. And I'll just give you an example of one form in particular that you really want to watch, and that would be your duties owed. In there, it asks you have to get the signature, right, the date, and there's a blank that says time. And that time is very, very important. That time is important because, number one, the division's going to check that if first thing when they look at your file, if there's any ever an issue. And believe it or not, we actually get requests for files from the division from time to time. Okay? And so if that time isn't stamped in there or written in there, you could have a problem. And the big reason why is because that's supposed to be the first document signed before any other document's signed, right?
Right.
So if you don't do that, that's going to be an automatic fine. Don't rely on your digital signature to time that, all right? And what I mean by that is when you do AuthentiSign around the thing, it puts a time. When you do DocuSign, it does not. So you need to be careful. I would put a blank there to make sure that you put that time in. And I know with DocuSign, you can set a setting so it automatically does that when it dates, so it'll date and time. But make sure you're putting that in so you avoid being fined. But we're going to look at that stuff. We're also going to relax a little bit on some of the unnecessary stuff, so we're not looking to create hassle for you guys to get paid, but we do want to make sure that that your paperwork is in order so that you guys are compliant and so are we, right? So mentorship, that's in full swing.
Yeah.
People are signing up for that. So Chris and Todd talked about that last week, right? And part of that is our goal is to increase the productivity of our agents and to create a better agent out there on the street. What I mean by that is when a brand new agent comes in, they're going to be required to go through our mentor program. It's not really a mentor program, we call it an apprentice thing, because they're going to work with somebody through their first few transactions. That way, we make sure that they get the hang of it, right? And we can get them off and going in the right direction. From marketing to writing their bio to setting up their websites, to prospecting, to setting up their database, everything, how to write contracts, the whole bit. But it's still an opportunity for a lot of you that have been here for a while or that need a jump start or anything like that. You get with Chris Bishop, and he will explain to you the mentorship program or the apprentice program, and hopefully get some of your businesses back on track or get you out of a slump if you're in one. So it's open to everybody.
And what I like about the program, it's created to help you generate business. Because I notice when new agents come into the field, they probably don't even close a deal their first year.
Some don't. And
this is designed to help them.
One of the statistics, like 80% of the agents get out in the first year. And I think most of them get out within the first 6 months.
Well, there's no help, and that's what we're trying to solve here.
And they get in for numerous reasons, flexible schedule, don't want a boss, no accountability, and those are all a lot of times the downfall.
Right.
And so the other step we've taken above that is many of you are doing good transactions and maybe don't need the apprentice program. You've got this part of it down, but want to take your business to the next level. So we're launching a coaching program.
Okay.
And I know they talked about that as well. So there'll be many levels of that, but watch for that and watch for the details on that because coaching and accountability can really help you increase your business.
Oh, yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about, and I feel like I've kind of hogged the show.
No, that's fine. I like the next topic that's coming up.
Right. So just internet leads, right? What is an average lead cost to generate on the internet? You have an idea of that?
It all depends. Probably
depends on your platform, right?
And it depends on your call to action. So I've seen cost from $2 to almost $15 per lead.
So I think if you're getting leads,
that's what I've seen.
Below $10, I think you're probably doing it pretty good. But to me, it keeps getting higher and higher. Let's just say you were going to buy a zip code from Realtor.com.
Right.
That's not cheap. And when you buy leads from Zillow,
that's
not cheap, right? And so if you want to manage your own stuff, I think you can get that cost down. But
that's time or money.
Right?
Yeah.
And that takes away
time or you got the
that
money.
takes away too.
It
because
does.
if you're managing your own leads and that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, a few months back, quite a while back actually, we came to the sales meeting and offered an opportunity. and it was basically free internet leads.
Yeah.
And people were really excited about it off the bat. It was Opcity, right? And people were really excited off the bat. And then we got some pushback because they said these aren't good leads. They aren't qualified. Well, they weren't clients. They were leads.
They're not
right?
referrals.
They're not referrals.
Right.
And there was no cost unless you close something, right?
Right.
And so I just kind of want to give you guys an update of where Opcity is and what progress we've had, because we've had some agents that have really grasped on and done great transaction from this. But just, I think, in the past few months since we've launched this, we've closed 26 deals. 26 transactions have closed through Opcity. And so that's huge. And likely to close in the next 30 days, they've got marked 17. 17 more closings likely to close in the next 30 days. And the frustration to me is I look at the list of agents and I see there's just a handful of them that are taking advantage of this and really doing good.
Yeah.
Right? And working and following up. And I get notifications almost every day of people that are falling behind on their updates and stuff, right? And then I see them get deactivated. And I'm just perplexed on why a tool like this you wouldn't stay up on when you want to be full-time in this business.
Well, a friend of mine just recently joined the Signature, and he was coming from a company that had a split and also didn't provide any assistance with leads. That was the selling tool that brought him over. On his first week, he had 4 calls that came in, and he went out and showed a property on one.
See, it's crazy.
And the leads work.
They do. If you work, they work. So
Yeah.
the important thing to understand is you got to put some work in behind them. They're going to try to connect you with the people, and that's the hardest thing with most internet leads is making that first connection.
It's all internet
Right?
leads. It doesn't
And
matter
so-
where they come.
And the reason I'm kind of venting or frustrating on this is because the more agents that we have in the system, the more opportunity Signature has and you guys have. But the more agents that we have in the system that are inactive or don't follow up and that stuff, it actually hurts the brokerage score, which hurts everybody involved. And so I think it's important that if you're not going to do this, that we don't have you in the system. And if you are going to do it, that you be serious about it and actually do it.
Well, the volume of leads that come to you also depends on your follow-up, right?
Uh-huh.
So if they notice you don't,
They grade the agent and they
Okay.
grade the brokerage.
okay,
Okay, so if you're a great agent and you're doing this stuff, that helps you.
right,
Where the brokerage thing starts to hurt is when new people come into the system and they're trying to build that momentum or get that score, our brokerage gets weighted less.
okay.
Does that make sense? Neat statistics that I have here. This in the last 7 days, there's been 108 alerts sent. That means 108 alerts have either alerted our agents basically saying, here's a lead. And out of that 108, only 65 alerts were clicked. Okay, so there's 40-something that didn't even get clicked. And out of that 65, our agents won 26 of them. So that's 26 leads or connections of people that could be buying homes
Right.
or even selling homes.
Or being placed in a database where you're going to follow up.
Right.
Because internet leads don't close on the first call or the first email or the first text or whatever. They probably take up to 18 touches before they convert.
It can be. And
Yeah.
a lot of internet leads are, 6 to 8 months down the road because they're out searching properties first.
So if you were to compare the quality of Opcity to the quality of a Zillow lead, to the quality of a Facebook lead, based on your experience, what would you compare? How would you compare?
So I would say this. These are as good or better than a Zillow lead. And the reason I
Okay.
say that is because it's a live transfer, right?
Okay.
So you're talking to the person. So when you get it, normally you get an internet lead, whether it be Facebook or anything else, you have to make that initial contact.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get frustrated because they don't get that contact, right? Only 15% of the people that sign up on anything on the internet today
Right.
are ready to buy today. They're starting the search,
Right.
right? And so it's a way to get in and build that pipeline, but you make those calls for that 15% who want to buy and sell now. So they're transferring them live. The other reason I'd say they're like a Zillow or a Realtor.com lead is because Opcity is the #1 buyer of Realtor.com leads. These are Realtor.com leads that they're purchasing, right? And they're doing the conversion and transferring them.
Wow.
And so you're
didn't know
not
that.
having to write that check to Realtor.com or
Right.
Zillow. You're only paying, and yeah, it can be a little bit steep or seems steep, a 35% referral fee. on anything over 150,000, but you didn't pay anything for those leads. And if you really were to run a lead campaign, how much money would you put out? Would you really be
Can you
netting
afford
35?
it? Yeah.
You know, would you really be netting that amount, 65%?
No,
or no?
probably higher, because you have other costs involved.
Right.
So they're absorbing a lot of the cost and just
Right.
giving you the referral.
And it's
fee.
all upside, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But don't build your business that this is going to be the thing that you're going to make all your money on. But let's just look at Nancy Morgan closed 4.
Wow.
So if that's 1 a quarter, does that help your bottom line?
But see, Nancy, I noticed she has really good follow-up.
She's doing great.
She has really good follow-up.
And there's others
I've
in
worked
here
with
that have
her.
closed 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is there's an opportunity here, and I'd hate you guys to miss it because of your first impression of the thing or what you expected it to be. Understand what it is. It's a lead. You do have to work it, but there's opportunity there.
Mhm.
So anyway, rant over.
Awesome. Let's go buy groceries.
Let's go buy groceries. All right. So anything else you want to add this week?
No, we had a good Java with Jesse.
Yeah?
We talked about Google My Business again. And we talked about the SEO of Google My Business. It's just not an app. Something new that's happening on the internet is possibly in the next 5 to 7 years, websites may become obsolete. Okay.
That's what you were telling me this week.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is most likely your Google account will be your website. So whether it happens or not, we need to start putting more attention into that platform along with the other 2, Facebook and Instagram, and really start using keywords, having a strategy to have people find you, because it's all about being found. So that's what we covered on Java with Jesse.
So to me, that sounds like a little bit of stuff that would be over my head, right?
No.
No,
I
if
doubt
I
it.
was to go out and do it myself.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And
It
so
can be.
where I'm going with that is it's important that you attend like Java with Jesse and things like that so you can learn this stuff. And I know you bring it down to a level where we can all understand it and start to implement it.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. There's agents in this company that do very well because they have a strategy with their SEO, which means their strategy to be found.
Mhm.
And I think everybody would definitely benefit, especially when these Opcity leads start Googling your name. They're doing it at home.
There you go.
Yeah, so it'll help you.
Sounds good to me. So if we don't see you before next sales meeting, we'll see you Tuesday.
Hey everybody, just wanted to talk to you a little bit about Opcity. Opcity has been actually very beneficial for me and my business. The leads they send are very, very solid leads, already pre-screened, already, they know what they're looking for. So it makes our job a lot easier. A couple buyers that I've had come through, I've had fantastic conversations with. We're in the process of looking for the right property for them. So all in all, I can say is Opcity's been very good for me and my business, and I can promise you, you won't be disappointed.
Hey guys, Jacqueline Norris here, the assistant for Greg Norris, Sherlock Home Finder. So I do basically all of Greg's listing reports. Fantastic game changer, legit awesome. So with the listing reports, the number one thing that I like about it is after you get your profile all set up, the pictures, everything comes off of the MLS. You don't have to do anything. So when you're doing the list reports, you type in the address. After you type in the address, everything comes off of the list reports. You can put up to 5 pictures there. The longest time is the processing. Sometimes I think the longest I've ever waited was like 15 minutes for it to process to make, but you can check it, you can put your color, you can put, you know, anything that you want about the property, even for FSBOs. So when Greg goes out to try to get a for sale by owner, I have the whole marketing list report on the person's house. Most of the time I get it from Zillow, I shouldn't say that, but their information is usually all on Zillow. So I'll capture their pictures that they have on Zillow, capture their description that they put, and I give it to Greg to take to the FSBO and present it and just show him what we can do for his property. The things that we can promote, how we can promote it. It has the schools, the school ratings, shopping, Groceries. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've got a little one. If you need milk, you know, I want to know that I'm not going to be 2 miles away from the closest grocery store. Malls. You name it, it has everything is listed on the listing report, so you don't have to do anything but put an address in, pick the pictures out, everything is downloaded from an MLS. Just, it's an easy click and paste, guys. Hope that helps.